Friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be diving into another machine on the Vulnhub, which is Pandavas. The link will be put in the description section below so that you can download it and play it on your own. This machine involves emulating a different service, which is SNMP or Simple Network Management Protocol. However, before we get started, make sure to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. Now, let's head over to Linux VM. Sorry, before we go ahead, I'd like to point out it would be better to use VMware Workstation to do this machine. Okay, so now then we can switch over to the Linux VM. First of all, we need to discover the IP address of the target machine. The utility I'd like to use, as always, would be netdiscover. Alright, as you can see over here, the IP address of the target machine could be recognized as 40. So what shall we do next? We need to perform port and self-scanning with a map. To save time of this video, I've already completed before, so now we can get out its result. As usual, I took the options like scene scan, the version scan, and then default script scan, followed by the full range port scan. The last option for all is ON to output the result into this file. Then we can retrieve scanning results whenever, right? From the Nmap scanning results, we can tell that the target has two open ports. The first one is 22, and the surface is SSH or secure shell surface. And also we can get its version information, including version number. Though this version 7.6 is a bit outdated, I don't think we can find any workable vulnerability at this point. The second one is 80, and the surface is HTTP or Hypertext Transfer Protocol. And also we can get its version information, including version number, Apache 2. So what shall we do next? I think it's very clear. We need to emulate this web application both manually and automatically. Let's fire up the browser to perform manual emulation first. Press enter, and we got this site loaded. So peeking into the lives of Pandavas and some pictures. I can't find any suspicious picture. Okay, some text. To be honest, I don't know what they're about. So peek, and they are not hyperlinks, just some kinds of anchors on the same page. And also we can check its source code. Scroll down to the bottom. Again, we can't find anything valuable from the source code. Next, let me bring back the terminal window to make furthermore emulation. For example, I'd like to check to see whether we can access its robots file. Not found. Next, we can launch Nikto to perform web emulation. For me, I always use Nikto to conduct automatic emulation because sometimes can give us very comprehensive and useful information. The images directory has been defined. Sorry, not defined, has been discovered by Nikto, and then we can use the browser to access this directory. There are 21 pictures in total, but we can check its size or the file name. We didn't find anything suspicious or anything different. So now we can, enumerate the directory by GoBuster. We can use W option to specify the word list. Not log queue, sorry. GoBuster, directory, medium. And also we can use the X option to specify the extension. And then we can press enter. So now the GoBuster starts its enumeration to find directories or files as many as possible. However, I'd like to tell you, GoBuster in this case can't find anything else except this images directory. So I think although you can, for example, you can change word list, you can change the directory enumeration to try to find anything different, but yes, we can't find anything useful. So how to do? This is where we need to perform. Usually we will, we will conduct the TCP scanning, right? However, in some cases, we also need to perform UDP scanning, and usually UDP scanning will take a longer time than TCP. So again, to save time of this video, I've already done that before. Okay, so now we can get out its result. So besides the DHCP client surface, and also we find this SNMP surface or protocol. This simply stands for Simple Network Management Protocol, and the port number is this one. So how to enumerate this Simple Network Management Protocol or service? We can use one of very useful utilities, which is SNMPwalk, and we can specify, default credential or community public, and we can specify the, the version of the SNMP, like 1, 2, or 2C, and 3. Of course, version 3 is much safer, is much secure. So this case, of course, you can use like a 2C or 1. You can try, without any problem. Okay, so in this case, I use 2C. As you can see, we successfully retrieve all MIP data from the target machine. The OID, object identification, time ticks, string. So this is the warrior. We can get the operating system, and also we can get the flag. However, this is the most important piece of information from this SNMPwalk. We can copy and paste over here. So what are we going to do next? We need to perform brute forcing against SSH surface. Okay. So now we can launch Hydra, and we can use the YoYo Wordlist log queue to crack it. Unfortunately, in this case, the wordlist log queue, although this wordlist is very big, right? You can check how many words in this directory. Oh, sorry, yeah, in this wordlist, rather. And wordlist log queue, very big number. However, in this case, log queue wordlist cannot work. In other words, cannot crack the password for this user. In this case, we need to create the word list for our purpose, And the utility I'm going to use is Q, and we can specify the depth of the cloning, okay, of page, cloning pages. So 3, and we can specify the URL of the target, and we can save it to Wordlist. Press enter, and we can check how many words or how many lines in this Wordlist. So very small. So next we can launch the Hydra again to perform brute forcing, but this time we use the custom or created Wordlist by Q. Let's press enter, because this Wordlist is very small, just 300 words in total. So this will not, this cracking will not take a very long time at all. So I think the most difficult part of this mission is to use a map to perform UTP scanning. If you can think of this point, and then you can, use the Hydra to crack its password. Okay, so without too much time, we can get the valid combinations of username and password. Then we can SSH to the target machine. We can copy this password. Okay, now we are in the target machine. Up to this point, we have already got initial foothold successfully. So what are we going to do next? We need to gather information to make lateral movement or privilege escalation. The first command I'm going to run is ID. If this user belongs to a different group, and sometimes we can utilize such membership to make lateral movement or privilege escalation. So nothing special here. And also we can check is content or directory content, and then we can get out its bash history. So nothing here. Next we can get out the password file, and we can find the 1 or 2 users and the 3. So the 3 normal users. Next we can go to home directory and go to the home directory of the second user. Now we are in the home directory of the second user, but nothing here. So also we can navigate into Pandavas home directory. Nothing here. And the next we can run a sudo, but this user may not run sudo on this machine. Next, I'm going to run find permission option for silent, and the type is a file rather than directory. Okay, press enter. We failed to find or discover anything suspicious. Next, what can we do next? We can go to the OPT directory. Nothing here. The var. Go to backups. If you have already followed my channel, you know that I'm following my methodology. Now we can go to www directory, HTML subdirectory. We find this Microsoft Word document, and however, this can only be read on the Windows with Microsoft Office software, right? Also, alternatively, you can use the online viewer and you can get the content of this one. So Nako is hidden in the village. Find him by changing the look. Okay. So now what can we do next? Next, I'm going to upload Nmap's shell script to perform automatic enumeration. Next, we need to set up web server on the Linux to upload this Nmap's shell script. Okay, it's done. And then we can use wget to upload. So what's the IP address of my machine? Okay. Make it executable, and then we can run it to see whether we can find anything interesting in terms of, privilege escalation. It's done. Let's scroll up. Searching installed mail applications. The binary with capabilities. SUID bit. For the numbers. It's running Docker. Interesting. But no containers, right? Oh, this one? However, no IP address. IPv6. Interesting. Cron job. Processes information. Oh, some local exploits, but I'm not going to take local exploits in this video. So how to the next? Maybe we can, so far we have really got to know two other usernames, right? We can use the same word list to crack the password, for example, for this one and this one. So how to do? Let me navigate to our working directory. Let's launch the Hydra one more time. I want to crack the password for this user, and so we can use our created word list. This is custom small word list. Press enter. Okay, I'm back. So as you can see over here, we got another password for this user. Then we can SSH to the target machine with this user. We can copy and paste in here. IP address of the target machine. And we can copy this password. Okay. And now we can get out. Similarly, we need to gather more information about this machine. And also we can try to run sudo. Even we can run all command. So the privilege escalation will be very easy. We can run sudo bash. And now we have already become root user, and we can grab the root flag without any problem. So I think that's pretty much it. I'd like to see you next. Bye. Have a nice day, please.